everyone, welcome to our fourth class of Introduction to Strategic Cost Management. In the previous class, we understood about supply chain management and value innovation. Let's just try to revise that first and then we will continue with our today's topic. So first we understood about what is the difference between supply chain and value chain. So value chain is for adding value on every activity which we are performing, whether it be primary or secondary activities. But when we focus on supply chain, our main aim is to deliver the goods to the customer, to the final consumer. So our main objective is flow of goods from supplier to consumer in our supply chain. But in value chain, our main focus is adding value to our products, right? Next, we understood about objective. So in supply chain, our main objective is efficiency, increasing the efficiency and reducing the cost. In value chain, our main aim is to achieve competitive advantage, and that is why with the help of value chain analysis, we are able to achieve cost leadership or product differentiation, which helps us to achieve the competitive advantage in the long run. Supply chain focuses on delivery of goods which happen every day in the organization, and that is why it focuses mainly on operational things. Its thinking or approach is operational. That is, we need to manage our supply chain on a day-to-day basis. But in value chain, our thinking is strategic because we think value chain as a long-term thing which can benefit us in a longer period of time if we are managing it properly. Next comes the steps. So in value chain, we have primary and secondary activities. Primary, inbound logistics, operations, outbound logistics, marketing and sales and services. And support activities are infrastructure and technology development, procurement and human resource management. But if I talk about supply chain, so supply chain have some steps. First is raw material, which comes from vendor. Vendor gives the raw material to manufacturer. Manufacturer makes the final product, give it to distributor. Distributor will give it to retailer and retailer will sell the final product to the consumer. Okay? Next comes what is supply chain management. So when you are managing the whole supply chain, then it will be known as supply chain management, and that is what is written in the definition, that it means managing everything that helps a product move from supplier to the final consumer. Now when we are managing supply chain, we manage three things, that is people, process and system. Why we are managing all the three things? Because supply chain is made up of these three things. Supply chain is made up of people, processes and system. So if we want to manage supply chain, we need to manage people, processes and systems. Next, what is the goal of managing the supply chain? We are managing supply chain so that we can become, or our products can become better, cheaper and quicker. Better than what they were before, cheaper than what it costs now, and faster or quicker production should be there and quicker delivery of the product should be there to the customer. So how companies are able to provide better, cheaper and quicker products? By coordinating with each other and only performing the work which they are good at. Next is, with the help of supply chain management, we are able to connect our supply and demand. Demand is what customers want. So we try to make the product in the same manner or the same product which can satisfy our customers' demand. So after finding out what customer wants, we make the product and then we match our supply with the demand of the product. Next is importance of supply chain management. Now to remember importance of supply chain management, you can use the word focus. F is for improves financial position, O is for reduces operating cost, C is for boost customer service and then S is for benefits to society. Okay? So F improves financial position, O reduces operating costs, C is boost customer service and S is benefits to society. First, let's start with boost customer service. How supply chain management is boosting customer service? By providing the right thing at the right time, at the right place with right after sales support. So right location, right time and right after sales support helps us to boost customer service with the help of supply chain management. Reduces operating cost. When you are managing your supply chain, you will be able to reduce your running cost. Now running cost will be reduced through decrease in purchasing cost. Your purchasing cost will be reduced by managing supply chain because you will need less inventory. Think about it. If your supply chain is good, that means your product can be delivered faster. And that means you need not keep a lot of inventory of the raw material or the product. You can get it on the time when you want it, and hence no need of keeping a lot of inventory, which saves our purchasing cost. Next is decrease in production cost. Think about it. While managing your supply chain, you will make sure that raw material is available in the organization on time. And if raw material is available on time, that means your production will continue. Your production will be continue working. Hana? And if production is continuing working, there will be no loss in production cost. See, if raw material is not available on time, production stops in the organization and it leads to huge losses. But if you are making sure that raw material is available and is coming on time in the organization, that means your production cost will also decrease, right? Decrease in supply chain cost by maintaining the whole network of supply chain. You will be able to provide good customer service and low cost, which Dell has also done. So Dell makes laptop only when orders came and shipped directly to consumer, which leads to less inventory holding and less cost. Then next, improves financial position with the help of supply chain. How we are improving our financial position? So by managing supply chain, we are able to improve our profit. Think about it. While managing, you will definitely try to reduce cost in the supply chain. And if you are able to cut a small cost in supply chain, that leads to increase in profit a lot. And that is how supply chain helps us to increase our profit. It helps us to decrease our fixed assets because we can work now with less fixed assets also. Earlier, we used to have 10 warehouses. Now, after managing supply chain properly, we can work with 6 warehouses also. Next is increase in cash flow. If your production is faster, you are delivering the products to the customer faster, you will do the billing also faster and you will get the money from customer also faster. And that is why organizations have more cash flow when they manage their supply chain properly. Next is benefits to society. After giving benefits to organization with the help of supply chain management, we can benefit to society as well in medical missions, disaster reliefs, or emergency situations. Then next is supply chain strategy. What is supply chain strategy? So when you are focusing on future, that what should be my supply chain or what should my supply chain look like, that is supply chain strategy. When you are focusing on now, that how my supply chain should be running or managed today or now, that is supply chain management. So strategy guides management. Management follows whatever has been mentioned in the strategy. Supply chain strategy is about planning the future of supply chain and management is about running the supply chain now. What is supply chain strategy? What is the definition of supply chain strategy? It refers to long-term direction and integrated set of choices regarding how supply chain is designed or how supply chain is managed to achieve competitive advantage. How supply chain is created? So first of all, we will create our corporate strategy. What is corporate strategy? That means company strategy. As a whole, company strategy will be created. But before that also, company will decide its vision. That is the end goal they want to achieve. And according to that vision, company will make their own strategy. After company has made the whole strategy for the organization, then supply chain experts will make supply chain strategy. After supply chain strategy has been made, every department in the organization will make their own sub-strategy. Now, what is sub-strategy? That means by taking into consideration what supply chain strategy is saying, what that particular department has to do, they make for that a specific sub-strategy for their particular department. Next is supply chain strategy focuses on whether it be supply chain management or supply chain strategy. Our main focus is people, process and system. Why? Because all of them together make the supply chain, right? Next we understood what is cross-dock terminal. So it's a place where goods are directly transferred from incoming vehicles to outgoing vehicles. So what happens here in cross-dock terminals? We unload the goods which has came from suppliers, then we sort it out and we reload those goods in our retailer's truck. We understood this with the help of Walmart example in our previous class itself, right? Next, what is merge center? So let's assume I have factory 1, factory 2 and factory 3. All of them has to deliver to a particular dealer. Now there is one option that every factory can send a different truck for their product. But the thing is, with the help of merge center, we can reduce our cost. How? Factory 1, factory 2, factory 3, all of them will send their product to merge center. Now this merge center will merge all the product and only one truck will be sent from this merge center to the dealer. And hence merge center is really helpful for the organization for reducing the cost. Because earlier you were traveling a lot. You were using 3 trucks to go to the same dealer. Now you are doing that with only 1 truck. Done. Next comes break bulk terminals. So what is a break bulk terminal? So product will come in bulk. Bulk products will become and they will be braked in this terminal. So our warehouse is sending all the products to this terminal. Now we want to send to 5 dealers. This terminal will break this bulk into different parts so that every dealer can get their product. So if you notice, cross dock terminal is about many to many. Merge center is about many to one. Break bulk terminal is about one to many. Done? Next we understood what is value innovation. So we took the difference between value chain and value innovation to understand this in a better way. So value chain focuses on existing products, what we are making now, and we try to improve that in value chain. But in value innovation, we are making completely new thing, completely new product, completely different product than what is already sold in the market. Value innovation was introduced in 1997 by W. Chan Kim and Rene Morberg. They said that value innovation is when company introduces new ideas, technologies or upgrades with the help of which they are able to achieve both, that is low cost and product differentiation. So if with the help of new ideas, technologies or upgrades, you are able to achieve low cost and product differentiation both together, then it will be known as value innovation. W. Chen Kim and Rene Morberg has also wrote a book named Blue Ocean Strategy, which they wrote in 2005. Now, Blue Ocean Strategy's key principle is value innovation. Blue Ocean Strategy is completely dependent on value innovation. Now, let's understand that what is Blue Ocean Strategy. For that, we are seeing the difference between Red Ocean and Blue Ocean Strategy. Now, this part is very important for you. It can be asked directly as it is in the exams. So, what is the difference between them? First of all, market space. In Red Ocean Strategy, we have the market space, existing market space is there, and the market is known to all the competitors working in that particular market. But when we go to Blue Ocean Strategy, we are creating something completely new, and hence the market is new and market is uncontested. That means no one knows that what will happen in that particular market. Industry boundaries in Red Ocean, as the industry is already working, the boundaries are already defined and accepted by every competitor working there. But in Blue Ocean Strategy, as the industry is completely new, product is completely new, hence the boundaries are not defined yet. Next, in Red Ocean Strategy, we try to beat our rivals because there is a lot of competition, and if you want to win in the competition, you have to perform better than the competitors. You have to beat your rivals. Not physically, but yes, definitely you need to make them lose, then only you will be able to win the customers in that particular market which is already existing. But when you are creating a new market for yourself where no one else is there, and hence competition is also irrelevant there. Next, market game, it's first demand. Here we are fighting for existing demand. Here we capture new demand because we are the one who is creating that new demand. Market game in Red Ocean, we have zero sum game, which means that if one company's loss is there, then other company will have gain. So if other company has to gain, then one has to have losses because you all are capturing only one customer group. Hence, if one wins, other will lose. Next, in Blue Ocean, there is no other person, no other competitor, and the only one, and the market is growing because market is now only created, and hence there is no zero sum game. Industry or approach, here we define our industries as attractive or unattractive, but in Blue Ocean, our purpose or our thinking is such that industry can be reshaped on the basis of or by creating innovation, right? Strategic focus, here we try to improve what competitors are already doing. As we have seen the example of Apple, that it made iPhones, which were screen touch phones, which were already made by the competitors, but now we are only improving it when we work in red ocean. But in blue ocean, we create something completely new which was not existing earlier. Value cost trade-off. Here we make the trade-off by choosing either low cost or product differentiation, but in blue ocean, we can achieve both, that is low cost and product differentiation together. Nature of market, here cutthroat, crowded and saturated market is there, and that is why it is known as bloody red. But in blue ocean, we have wide open, unexplored market. No one else has come to that market till now, and that is why it is known as blue ocean. Examples we have seen as Ola, Uber, Jio, Airtel, PepsiCo. All of them are fighting in the same market, competing with each other. That is why they are working in a red ocean market. But if I talk about Ford Model T, when it started, it was a new mass market product which other car companies were not making at that time. Apple Tunes was the first one to make music legal and digital, and Netflix was the first one to make the streaming subscription model possible. Done. Next, blue ocean shift. If you want to shift from red ocean to blue ocean, then what you need to do? First, have the right perspective. Shift your focus from the competitors to the customer. And this is something very important which every organization should do. If you notice in our strategy also, we were focusing on working better than the competitors, Hana? But you need to think about it, yaar. If we try just only to do something better than the competitors, then we'll not be able to have huge impact, or will not be able to earn a lot. And for that, you need to keep yourself away from the competitors and focus only on the customers. That what are the problems customers are facing right now? How can we make customers more happy? How can we do something different, something unique, something new for our customers? And that is what right perspective is all about here. Create a clear roadmap and tools for the new market. If you are entering the new market, if you are going to do something completely new, you should have some plan for the same and some tools for the same which you can use to enter that particular market. Build confidence in every people in the organization, because think about it, if the people in the organization are not connected or collaborating for this shift, then this shift will not be able to be possible properly. Red to blue, it's a huge shift. It's a lot of risk for the organization, and that is why everyone in the organization should work together for this shift. They do this by, if you want to shift from red to blue, you need to do four things, and that is eliminate, reduce, raise and create. What to eliminate? The things which customers don't want, just remove them. Reduce the things which cost a lot. Try to replace it with something which cost lesser. Raise the things which customer cares a lot about, and create something completely new which customers do not have before. Done. And this is what we have studied all in our previous class. Now let's move to our today's class. Today we are going to study about value analysis and value engineering. Earlier in the previous class itself, we understood what is value innovation. Now, how value innovation is different from value analysis and engineering? When we already have value innovation, then what is the need of value analysis and value engineering? To understand that, let's understand the difference between all of them. First of all, value innovation. What it focuses on? Creating something completely new for customers by changing the rule of competition. What is the meaning of changing the rule of competition? That means say tata bye-bye to competitors and do something completely new where there is no competition, right? Where you are the only one who has created that product. So value innovation is about creating completely new thing for the competitor, for the customers by changing the rule of competition. But in value analysis, we are not creating a completely new product. We are focusing on the existing product. And what we are trying is, we are trying to reduce the cost of existing product. But we need to reduce the cost without impacting the function. That means the function which my product is performing, like this calculator, it can calculate, right? And that is the basic function which it performs. So I will try to reduce the cost of my product without impacting the function the product can perform. And value analysis is applicable on existing product. What is existing product? The product which is already getting sold to the customer. We have already sold a lot of units to the customer. We keep on selling that product to the customer. We are manufacturing it on a day-to-day basis. That is the existing product whose design, development, everything is already done. It's in the manufacturing process right now. Done. Next is value engineering. If I tell you, then value engineering is the brother of value analysis. Why? Because both of them do the same thing. But value analysis focuses on existing product which is getting sold to the customers. But value engineering focuses on the product which is in design stage. That means the product has not started selling yet. It is on the development or design stage. We are making the prototype of the product right now. We are testing the product whether it's working properly or not. And this is the stage where we apply value engineering. Whether it be value analysis or value engineering, both try to reduce the cost without reducing the function. Both try that the function should be as it is, but the cost should be reduced. And hence, I'm saying that both of them are brother and sisters. Now, next, value innovation tries to increase value for customer and also tries to reduce cost, right? And how we do that? We do that by introducing something completely new. But in value analysis, we understood right now that we only try to reduce the cost of existing product. And in value engineering, we are trying to prevent the cost. Now, why we are using prevention here and reduction here? Because in existing product, cost is already there. Now I am trying to reduce it. But in value engineering, the product is in design stage. Cost has not been added yet. The cost has not been incurred yet. Before incurring the cost also itself, we are reducing it, and that is why we are saying it as prevention. Prevention is better than cure. Have you listened to that? So, engineering does prevention and value analysis does cure. Cure is required when something has already happened. So, cost is already incurred. Now I am trying to reduce it. Prevention happens before anything actually happens, right? And that is why prevention is at the design stage where cost is not actually incurred. Now I am trying to reduce the cost. Done. Stage applied. Value innovation is applied on the strategic level itself. That means when the organization is deciding its strategy, then only they have to decide whether they are going to enter the existing market or create something completely new for themselves, right? But in value analysis, it applies after product is already in use. And value engineering is applied on the design stage of the product. Before production, at the design and development stage, we apply value engineering. Objective. Here we try to break the trade-off between cost, leadership and product differentiation. We try to achieve both in value innovation. In value analysis, our aim is only to remove the unnecessary cost. So we will improve our value of the product by removing unnecessary cost. Value can be anything which helps manufacturer and satisfies the customer. Next, value engineering. We will also understand this value in a deeper manner going forward. What is value engineering? Value engineering objective is to design the product such that it will lead to lowest life cycle cost. Now, what is the meaning of life cycle cost? So here we are seeing what is product life cycle cost. To understand it, let's take an example. So let's say we sell printers to our customers. When we say product life cycle, we see it on the basis of customer's perspective. So when a company is selling printer to the customer, it will, let's say, cost around 5,000 rupees to buy the printer. This printer can work up to 5 years. But for 5 years, think from customer's perspective. Will customer not have any other cost except buying the product? Answer is no. To use the printer, you need ink and you need to buy that ink. Let's say for around 5 years, if you want to buy that ink, it will cost you total 12,000 rupees. Next, if you want to run the printer, you need electricity as well. Let's assume that will cost you around 1,000 rupees. If your printer gets damaged, then you need to maintain it, you need to get repairs on it. Let's assume in its whole life, around 2000 rupees will be spent on managing or maintaining the printer. After that, after completion of 5 years, you need to dispose of that printer because now it is of no use. Only 5 years was the life of the printer. Then when disposing the printer, it will cost you around 500 rupees. Now this is the whole life cycle cost of product which customer has to bear. From buying the product till disposing of the product, there are a lot of costs, and the whole cost which we incurred from buying to dispose of is known as product life cycle cost. Okay. And that is what is written here, that in design stage we will try to lower the product life cycle cost. That means not only reducing the purchase price, reducing everything which customer will incur on this product from buying till disposal of the product. And why we are focusing on life cycle cost? Because think about it, customer will buy on the purchase price basis, right? Answer is no. Whenever customer are buying the product, they see what the product is costing right now and how much extra cost they have to bear while working on that particular product. And hence it's very important for the company to design a product such that it has a lower life cycle cost. Done? Next, outcome. In value innovation, outcome is new demand, new market space, because you have created something completely new. In value analysis, our outcome is cost is lower and we are able to achieve the same performance which we were able to achieve earlier. In value engineering, we got the optimal design at lowest future cost. Done. If we talk about example, then in case of value innovation, we have taken the example of Netflix, which provides that subscription services, right? So rather than going to cable TV, Netflix has gone to subscription model, which was completely new at that time, and that is why Netflix was able to grab a lot of customers. Next, in value analysis, we are trying to reduce cost. So let's take an example of packing cost. So I am reducing the packing cost without affecting the protection. That means earlier, the packaging which I was using, that packaging was providing a specific kind of protection. I am able to achieve the same kind of protection right now, but with a packaging which is of lower cost. So you were able to reduce the cost without impacting the function, and that is what value analysis does. And in value engineering, we are designing a lighter engine part that uses less material. Less material means less cost. Done. Next, this was the difference between value innovation, analysis and engineering for getting a better understanding. Now let's see the definition of value analysis. What is value analysis? So value analysis is a technique of cost reduction and cost control. Now, what is cost control and cost reduction? Cost reduction means reducing the cost. But when we say cost control, that means we will make a standard of each cost. Let's say that my labor cost for each unit should be 100 rupees per unit. This is decided before actually producing the product. So we have decided that on one unit, we can have labor cost of only 100 rupees. But let's assume in actual, we got 120 rupees per unit. We have incurred 120 rupees per unit in labor cost for making the product. Now in that case, we are not able to achieve the standard, right? And in cost control, what we will try to do is, we'll try to take our cost up to standards. So if it is higher than the standard, we'll definitely try to take it up to standard. But if it is lower than the standard, we'll not do anything on it. So cost control's main aim is to take the cost up to standard. But after getting the cost up to standard, in cost control, we don't try to reduce it more. But in cost reduction, our aim is to reduce the cost even after we have reached the standards. We will try to reduce every time, every day. Our aim is to reduce the cost. So if you notice, whether it be cost reduction or cost control, both are reducing the cost, right? Cost control is reducing up to certain level only, and cost reduction is going down till the time it is possible to do that. So both of them are reducing the cost. And value analysis is also used for reducing the cost, and that is why it is said that value analysis is a technique through which you can reduce the cost and control the cost. That value analysis uses scientific approach. Now what is scientific approach? Scientific approach means you will not decide only on the basis of logic. Logic means you are using your mind to decide which one is good. Like I should use plastic for making calculator or I should use steel to make calculator. I'm deciding on the basis of what my mind thinks. That is logic. But scientific approach is about you should use facts. You should take all the data. You should follow systematic methods and then find out which one is costlier, which one is less costlier, which one provides more satisfaction to the customer and which one provides less satisfaction to the customer. You will find it out with the help of facts, data and systematic method. And then after that, use your logic, use your mind to decide which one is good for the customers. So in scientific approach, only logic is not applied. Facts, data and systematic method with logic is applied. And that is what we do in value analysis. Will not depend only on the logic, will depend on facts, data and systematic methods. Done? Now, we are using scientific approach to ensure all function of a product or service are carried out at minimum cost. And that is what value analysis does. We try to perform the functions with minimum possible cost. But we need not compromise on quality, reliability, performance and appearance. When we say function, we think about basic function, right? That the calculator should be able to calculate. But this definition says that when we say function, it is not only about basic function. We also want that the quality, performance, reliability and appearance of the product should be exactly same. There should be no change on that as well. Now, what is the quality of product? So this product can work up to 5 to 6 years, and this is the quality which Casio is providing to us. You can't compromise on that quality. Think about it. If quality is compromised, your expectation will not be fulfilled. You expect something from Casio. Like after buying this calculator, I expect from Casio ki if I buy a Casio product, then it will work for around 5 to 6 years easily. And that is my expectation. Fulfilling my expectation is the quality which our companies are providing, right? So quality should not be compromised. The reliability, that means your product should be dependable. For example, I know that if I switch on the fan will work. Why I know that? Because it is working from a very long time and I know that if I switch it on, it will work today also. That is the dependability, that you can depend on that product. You can take an example of employees also for this particular case. Let's say in my organization, I have one employee. Our working day is 6 days. Okay. So this employee is like, he will come one day, take leave for one day, come 2 days, and then again take leave for 2 days. Am I be able to rely on this employee who keeps on taking leave on every other day? I'll not be able to rely on him, right? For any work. That is not dependability. I'm not able to depend on that particular employee, and that is unreliable employee. What we want with our product? We want a reliable product on which we can rely on. We want an employee on which we can rely on. And that is what we want here. That the product, if it is reliable, we won't want to change it. We don't want to compromise it. Next is performance. Performance means how good it is performing the work or the basic function. Like my AC, it's able to cool the room in minutes. That is good performance. How well you are able to perform the basic function is known as performance of the product. Next is appearance. That means how product is looking. So we need not change the look of the product also in value analysis. Our aim is only to reduce cost. Done. So what we understood till now, that value analysis is a technique of cost control and cost reduction. It uses scientific approach, not only logic. We will use data, fact, systematic method and logic together to decide which product or which material we should use to reduce the cost, right? So it is a technique of cost control and reduction. which uses scientific approach to ensure that all functions of a product or service is fulfilled or is provided at minimum cost without compromising on quality, performance, appearance and reliability. Done. This is what value analysis is. Quality, reliability, performance and appearance I have already explained to you. If you want, you can read it from here as well. Done. Next comes another definition for value analysis, which is given by Society of American Value Engineers, whom we can call it as SAVE. Done. Now what they have said? They said that value analysis is a systematic application. Now what is systematic application? When you apply something on a step-by-step basis, that is known as systematic application. No random, no guesswork is there. Step-by-step process is there in value analysis. Done. So value analysis is a systematic application of what? For value analysis, we will use some recognized techniques. Now what is recognized techniques? Recognized means the technique is already tried, tested and accepted in the industry. Technique means method or tools which we are going to use. So value analysis will follow a systematic application in which it will use some recognized techniques. Now why we are using this recognized techniques? Let's understand here first and then we will see the definition. So we are using this recognized techniques first to find out what all function our product is performing. Then as our main aim is to reduce cost, and that is why after knowing what all function our product is performing, we'll try to know how much cost we are incurring on it right now. After knowing the cost incurred, we will try to provide all the function with reliability in the product, and we will try to do the same with lower cost. So what is happening? We are using, in value analysis, we are using a recognized technique first to find out what all functions our product is performing. Then we will find out the monetary value of function, like how much cost is incurred to perform that function right now. Then we'll try to make that function or keep that function as it is, keep that function reliable and try to reduce the cost. And that is what this definition is saying. So it's a systematic application of recognized technique through which we will identify the function of the product. First of all, identify the function of the product so that we can establish a monetary value for the function, that how much that particular function is costing us right now. And then we will try to provide that necessary function reliability at the lowest overall cost. And that is what the definition is given by SAVE. Done. If you notice, to provide the necessary function reliability, to explain this, I have written something. Cost reduction should not reduce performance. Product must still be reliable and durable. So when we say function reliability, that means performance should not be compromised and product should be reliable and durable as well. Now what is reliable? We have already understood that the product should be dependable. If I switch on the fan, I should know that it will work, and that is the dependability or reliability of the product. Now what is durable? Durable means without replacing the product or without changing it with some other product, how much period of time that particular product can work. So the fan can work for 5 years without any replacement. That is the durability of product. When we say durability, that means we are only focusing on replacement of the product, that after some time or after how much time the product should be replaced. But it can have maintenance, right? If in between my product is requiring maintenance, that does not mean that the life of the product is reduced. With the help of maintenance, if you are able to increase the life of the product, good enough. That will also be considered as part of life of the product. Done. So durability is about how much time your product can work without needing any replacement. Now, let's move forward to value. So, think about it. We have read about value a lot of time, whether we were studying about value chain, value innovation. Everywhere, our focus was on value, that in value chain, we are trying to add value in every activity we are performing. In value innovation, we are trying to add value by providing product differentiation or cost leadership. So everywhere we are trying to increase value. Now, what does this value mean? Value can be anything through which you are able to reduce your cost. That is also value. If you are able to make something different, value creation. If you are providing something which is of higher quality, that is also value. Extra features is value. If you are providing emotional satisfaction to your customer, that is also value. So value is broad and subjective. It can mean anything which creates satisfaction for the customer or adds some value for the organization, right? But when we say value in value analysis, then we mean only one thing, and that is economic value. We focus only on one thing, and that is economic value. How economic value can be improved. Now, what is economic value? Economic value is worth of product or service expressed in money. When you express your product or service in terms of money, that is economic value. But how this worth will be defined? On the basis of what function your product can perform. So, on the basis of function my product is performing, how much is my product is worth of, that is known as value, economic value. Done? Now, so we are looking at function and its worth, right? So can I write it as function achieved per unit of cost? For 1 rupee, for every rupee I am spending, how much function I am getting? That is what we want to know in economic value, and that is what we want to improve, right? For every rupee, we want to improve our function or get more and more function for every rupee spent on, right? And can I write this as function achieved per unit of cost? Can I write it as function divided by cost? Of course, you can write it as like this, because we are trying that only. We are trying to improve our function for every rupee spent. And that is how economic value is denoted. Now, what is function? Function is what our product or service can do. Are all the functions of the product or service. Like AC can cool the room. AC is charging or AC is taking less power. So power consumption is less in my AC. That is also a type of function. My AC can connect with my mobile phone. That is another type of function. So function is everything which my product is providing to me. Okay. So with the help of calculator, there is only one function of it. That is, you can calculate everything. That is the function of our calculator. Done. Next. Cost. What is cost? Cost is the total life cycle cost incurred to perform that required function. To perform that function, how much total life cycle cost we are incurring, that will be treated as cost and will be considered here to calculate the economic value. So if you notice, we are dividing our function with the cost. Think about it, yaar. I can know what is the cost in quantitative terms, in money terms, right? I can write that cost is rupees 100 or 1000 or 10,000, anything. So I can write it in numbers. But the thing is, how should I write the function in number? That my calculator is performing really well. How should I write it in numbers? I'll not be able to do that. So this is qualitative, which is not being able to be written in numbers, but cost is quantitative. How will I compare a qualitative thing with quantitative thing to know the economic value? I'll not be able to do that. And that is why for functions, we calculate a function score. Now, what is function score and how it is calculated? Let's just understand that. So, function is qualitative, but cost is quantitative. How we will compare both of them? For this, we will calculate a function score based on the importance, performance and capability of the product, and then we will compare it with the cost incurred. Now, how to calculate function score? For that, first of all, identify all the functions your product can perform. So, my product is, let's say AC. AC can perform a cooling function. Let's say AC can perform heating function also. AC also works as a heater, right? So it can also perform a heating function, and it also provides me a connectivity function. So I can connect my AC with my mobile phone. That is also a connectivity type of function. So these are the functions AC performs. Now after this, after finding all the function, assign importance weight to each function, usually out of 100. So out of 100, I will assign every function on the basis of importance. I'll assign some weights. So let's say for AC, cooling is the most important thing. So I'm assigning it 50 points. For if I talk about heating, that is also required, but it's not as important as cooling. So I'm giving it 40 points. But connectivity is the least important thing for AC, and I'm giving it 10 points. Done? So out of 100, I have given 50, 40 and 10. That means the total should be equal to 100 for all the functions together. Next, after this, rate performance or capability on the scale of 1 to 10. Now here what will I do? For performance and capability, I'll give every function out of 10 marks. So for cooling function, how my AC, the product which we are making, is performing. So cooling function which our AC performs is okay-ish, and that is why I'm giving only 5 points. Heating function is very good. Our AC is very good at performing heating function. So I'm giving it 10 points. For connectivity function, we perform better than okay-ish. So I'm giving 8 points. If you notice, every function has 10 points here, out of which some points are given. But for weight, total you have 100 weight, and you have to bifurcate that weight to each of the functions. Done? After giving weight and performance to each function, multiply weight with the performance. So 50 into 5, that is equal to 250. Here we get 400. Here we get 80. So if I total it all, it's coming to be 400, 250 and 80 is equal to 730 rupees. 730 is the function score. This is the total function score, and if you want to know function score for every function, then this is the function score for every function. Done. So we got to know the function score. Now we can compare it with cost, right? But the thing is, how will we calculate the total life cycle cost of a particular function? Think about it. I can calculate the life cycle cost of whole product like we calculated for printers, right? But the thing is, how will I calculate the life cycle cost of function, of a particular function? So that is very complicated, and for that, what is mentioned is you can calculate the total life cycle cost of the product. Then after calculating it, allocate or relate that cost to individual function on a logical way. That means on your thinking basis, what you think that full life cycle costs, which part or how much of this cost should belong to which function. You can define it on the basis of your logical thinking. No need to calculate exact life cycle cost of each function with scientific precision. Logical thinking will work here. So for AC example only, I'm taking, let's say, life cycle cost of my AC is 1000 rupees. 1000 rupees is the life cycle cost of my AC. Now, for cooling function, we have a cost of 500 rupees. I'm on a logical basis, I'm distributing that. For heating function, our cost is, let's say, 450 rupees, and for connectivity function, our cost is 50 rupees. Done. So now I know the total life cycle cost of each function, and I know the function score for each function. Now to calculate economic value, what we will do is we'll compare the function score with the cost. So what is the function score for cooling? 250. What is the cost? 500. Next, for heating, function score is 400 and the cost is 450. And for connectivity, function score is 80 and connectivity cost is 50. So 250 by 500, that is equal to 0.5. 400 by 450 is 0.889. 80 by 50, that is equal to 1.6, and that is known as economic value. Now, what is the benefit of it? After knowing this function score, now what will happen? So, after knowing the function score, now you will try to reduce the cost, and that is what is our aim of value analysis. But how will I know that my function is similar and my cost is reduced? With the help of function, economic value, with the help of function divided by cost. Let's see how. So let's take the example of only cooling function, right? So what I did is I cut my cost, but function is as it is. If function is as it is, then function score will be as it is, but my cost is reduced. So let's say we have reduced the cost to 400. Now if I calculate the total value, that is economic value, then how much it is coming? 0.625. Earlier we were able to achieve 0.5. Now we are able to achieve 0.625. That means our economic value has improved. So to know whether our economic value has improved or not, we need to calculate this score or this index, which shows us the economic value. Done. We can see this example to understand this in a better way. So we have calculated in current situation, currently our product's function score is 80 and cost is 100. So total value is 80 by 100, that is equal to 0.8. Now option A is I am cutting the cost. Function is same, that means function score will also remain same. But cost was 100, now I am reducing it and the cost now is rupees 80 only. So what will happen now? If I do function by cost now, then 80 by 80, my situation or my value is 1 now, which was earlier 0.8. Now it is 1. That means we have improved our situation with the help of cutting cost. We have improved our value by cutting cost. Now option B is improve function. In value analysis, we have said that our main aim is to reduce the cost. But option B is what option B is doing? It is keeping the cost as it is, but improving the function, and that is why function score has improved. Now if I calculate the value, earlier it was coming 0.8, now it is coming 1, which is also a better situation. Now think about it. In option C, we have improved both cost and function. That means we have cut the cost and we have improved the function. If we are doing both of them together, then function score will improve and cost will reduce, and hence value has increased. Done. So ma'am, you only said earlier that in value analysis we try to reduce cost keeping the function as it is. But now you are saying that we will improve our function keeping the cost as it is. So that is another way of increasing value in value analysis. But mainly if I talk about organizations or the practical application of value analysis, then in value analysis, organizations, those who apply value analysis, their main aim is to reducing the cost, keeping the function as it is. Because improving the function can be happened with other techniques also. Like I can apply value innovation, I can do value chain analysis. So I can do different things for improving the function. But for reducing cost specifically, value analysis is applied by the organization. But it is not like value analysis only focuses on reducing the cost. It's the main function of value analysis. But the thing is, with the help of value analysis, you can improve the function keeping the cost as it is. Now, when I'm saying improving the function, that doesn't mean I'm going to add something more. I'm not going to do differentiation here. That means I'm not going to give some extra feature, something different from what competitors are giving. My aim is not that. My aim is to improve the function. That means if I'm giving a function of calculating with the help of this calculator, I'll try to improve that function only. I'll not give any extra function here. So when we are saying improving function, we are improving the same function which we are providing in our product. Done. So to increase value in value analysis, either you can improve your function where cost remains the same, or you can reduce the cost while function remains the same. Or else, if you want to get extra benefit or the best situation for your organization, so you can improve the function as well and reduce the cost as well. And you can think it in this perspective also, that it becomes really hard to improve the function keeping the cost as it is. Think about it. If I want to improve function of anything, like if I want to improve the cooling function of AC, I might need to incur some extra cost or use some more quality material, and that will lead to extra cost. So improving the function, keeping the cost as it is, become very hard for the organization. And that is why value analysis specifically is used for reducing the cost, keeping the function as it is. Done. Improving function means will not change the basic function, will just try to improve or increase the function. Now, what is function? We have already understood that function is the intended purpose of the product. But the thing is, function can be calculated through performance and capability. So function is all about the performance and capability of the product. Performance is how well the particular product is performing its intended function. Like the calculator's aim is to calculate things, right? So how well the calculator is calculating everything, that is the performance of the product. And if I talk about capability, capability means how much digit this particular calculator can handle. So this calculator can handle maximum up to 12 digits. That is the capability or the capacity of the product. So performance is how efficiently, accurately or effectively the function is carried out. And the capability is the extent or capability up to which the product can perform its function. So AC cools faster. It's a higher performance. But AC can cool a large room size. It is higher capability. Done. Now if you notice, in improved function also it is written that in value analysis we do not change the basic function. We are providing the same as it is function, but we try to improve or increase the performance or capability of the same function. I'll try to improve the performance. Like AC cools the room in 20 minutes right now. If I'm improving the performance, it cools in 10 minutes. That is increase in performance. If my AC is right now able to cool only small room, I'm making AC in such a way now that it can cool the large room also. That is increasing the capability. So when we say improving the function, we specifically mean that we are improving the performance or capability of the same function. Function is same, just performance and capability is improving. Done. So this was about value being seen as economic value in value analysis. Done. Let's move forward. We have already understood that in value analysis, value means economic value, which is denoted by function divided by cost. But the thing is, this is only one part of economic value. This is very precise, or if I look at it in micro sense, then it means function divided by cost. But the thing is, economic value actually arises from 4 different things. It's not only about function. It is all about use, cost, exchange, and esteem value of the product. Through these 4 values, economic value is defined. So why we specifically focused on function divided by cost earlier? Because to calculate or to know whether you are performing that function really well or not, you are able to reduce that cost or not, you need to know this function divided by cost wala formula. When you know this, you are able to improve your function and reduce your cost with the help of this formula. But the thing is, economic value in broader sense is all about use, cost, exchange, and esteem value. Now, what are these 4 types of value? Let's just understand them one by one. I am taking an example of a wristwatch, which is an analog watch, not a digital watch, right? So with the help of digital watch, you can also call your friends, you can play music in that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a simple watch whose purpose is only to show you a time. What is the time right now? That watch shows only that. I'm talking about that watch. So you will find some watch who are analog and are available at 200 rupees. Will you be able to get a watch who is showing only time at 200 rupees? Answer is yes. But the thing is, similar kind of watch whose purpose or whose basic function is showing the time is also available for 20,000 rupees, like a Rolex watch. You need to pay a lot of money to buy that. Hana? If you notice, both the watch, even if they are priced differently, their basic function is exactly same. Hana? This watch and this watch, both of them are going to perform exact same function. And that is what use value is. Use value is only about the basic function, that how that basic function is performed by the product. If both the products are performing the same basic function as it is, then both the products have same use value. Hana? But the thing is, product is not just only on the basis of function. That is why for economic value, we have calculated it as function divided by cost. But this is not the only thing which product provides. Product's aim is not only to provide that basic function. Product's aim can be more than that. And that is why we need to calculate these 4 different types of values. Next comes cost value. Cost value is the cost of production. So whatever cost you have incurred to make that product, whether it be material, labor, overheads or other expenses which you have incurred, all of these is the cost value of the product. This is cost of making it. So let's assume that a Rolex watch, to make that 5,000 rupees is incurred. That is the price of it. That is the cost of it, and that is known as cost value. And if I talk about a normal non-branded watch, its cost is 100 rupees. To make that product, only 100 rupees is incurred. So this is known as cost of making that product, which can be different for different products, even if they are performing the same function. Next. See, example is also given that if a plastic watch is there, it will cost less, but a gold-plated watch, of course, it is going to charge a huge amount, or it is going to incur a huge amount to make that particular product also. Next comes exchange value. Exchange value is the selling price. For what price you are going to buy that particular product. So for Rolex, the price is 20,000 rupees. And if I buy a non-branded watch, the price is 200 rupees. Exchange value is the price people are willing to pay in the market. So for a branded watch, maybe you can sell it for 5,000, and for a local one, you can sell it for 500 rupees, and that is the exchange value. Next comes esteem value. Esteem value is the appeal, brand image or status for which you are buying that particular product. Rolex is bought for prestige and pride only, for the status only, and that is why they are able to charge higher, because their brand image is really good. The brand image is about status. The brand image is all about prestige, and that is why people are willing to pay so much higher for the similar type of product who can perform the same function. So esteem value is the one which allows the manufacturers to charge higher prices for their product. And that is why it's important to see all of this. While comparing function divided by cost, we were only considering our function, that is the use value. We were not considering other things like the cost value, exchange value and esteem value. And that is why I have said that this only looks at specific part of economic value, and to know the whole economic value, you need to focus on all these 4 types of values. Now, for all these 4 types of value, we can calculate them in money form. How? Let's just understand. For exchange value, though, you can directly calculate that this product is sold for 20,000 rupees. So this is the selling price and exchange value of the product. Cost also you can directly calculate that to make that product we have incurred total 5,000 rupees. For this also there is no issue. But how to calculate use value in money format? So to get only the basic function, like to get the watch to show only the time, that is the basic function of the watch. To show only time, what is the cost which we have incurred. So let's say to show the time, we have incurred only 500 rupees, and that is the cost of use value. So to perform the basic function, whatever cost you have incurred is the use value cost. Now what is the cost of esteem value? So let's assume I have made a gold plated watch. Gold plating is not required for basic function, and hence we have not included it in use value. But gold plating is required for creating that esteem or prestige, right? And that is why here we will include that cost. So total we have incurred 5,000 rupees to make that product. 500 is for use value and remaining 4,500 is incurred so that we can create that esteem value. We can give that gold plated watch so that we can charge extra from the customers. Done. So if you notice, here I have seen use value and esteem value from manufacturer's point of view, that how much cost he is incurring for use value and how much cost he is incurring for esteem value. But the thing is, use value and esteem value, both of them can be seen from customer's perspective also. That from customer's perspective, how much customer is willing to pay only for the basic function of the watch. For basic function of watch, let's assume that customer is ready to pay 800 rupees only. And how much customer is ready to pay for the esteem value? So total customer is paying 20,000 rupees. For the basic function, he is paying only 800 rupees. Remaining 19,200 rupees, he is ready to pay that only for the esteem value. So esteem value and use value can be seen from both the perspective of buyer and manufacturer. So we understood that economic value is function divided by cost, but it is only in micro sense. If we see economic value from a macro sense, from a bigger perspective, then it includes used, cost, esteem and exchange value. Now, the same thing is given here. Let's just read it once. Local watch shows time, Rolex shows time. Both of them are performing the same basic function, and that is use value. Cost, here local watch is of 300, Rolex is of 40,000. To manufacture that particular product, we are incurring 340,000, that is the cost value. The price you can charge to the customer is the exchange value, and the esteem value for local watch is very low and for Rolex it's very high. So how you are able to charge higher price for Rolex and very low price for local watch? The reason behind that is esteem value. Where the esteem value is high, you can charge higher prices from the customer, and that is what we have understood here also. From use value, you are only able to charge extra 300 rupees from the cost which you have incurred to give that use value. But for esteem value, you have incurred only 4,500 rupees, but you are charging 19,200 rupees. That means you are charging extra margin, a huge amount of margin just for this esteem value. Done? Now, I have already explained you what is use, cost, exchange and esteem value in detail. If you want, you can read it once from your study material, and we are also going to write it in summary. So there also you will be able to revise it, and how to write it in exam, you will get an understanding about it. Done? Now, use value may be construed as the fundamental form of economic value. Think about it. This is the basic thing. If your product is not able to provide the intended function efficiently, then it is of no use. It will not be able to provide any esteem value or exchange value. Think about it. If watch is not able to show the time, then how it is able to create pride or prestige or status? It will not be able to create that, right? And the customer will not be paying you anything for the product which is not at all working on its intended function. If calculator is not able to calculate, then why will I pay any money for it? There will be no exchange value. There will be no esteem value if the product is not able to provide use value properly. That is why use value is the fundamental form of economic value. An item without use value can neither have exchange value nor esteem value. Done? Next, two parts of function you must consider. Whenever you are trying to improve value in your product, what you should do? You should work on your use value and esteem value. Think about it. If you want to make your product more reliable or customers should be attracted to it, then I need to focus on the functions, that it should perform function really well. Like I have bought earlier, whenever I was studying for CMA Inter, right? I have bought a lot of calculator which were not branded, and they used to get damaged or not able to calculate after 2-3 months. Ana? And then I shifted to Casio, and it is performing from 5 to 6 years. So it is performing its intended function really well. And that is what is required in a product. Whenever we want to improve our product, we should first focus on improving the basic function of the product, right? Use value should be improved. Then comes the esteem value, because esteem value allows you to charge a lot of extra margin, and that is why you should try to improve the esteem value also of the product. As Rolex has done for their watches, that they have also created esteem value for the product. So use value is the utility, what useful job it does for the customer. Example, both a basic small car and a luxury car, both of them are providing the same use value. So both of them will have a same intended function, then both of them for use value are going to get exact same amount. But the thing is, esteem value is the one which makes two products different from each other. How it makes the customer feels: looks, brand, prestige, style and packaging. Example, luxury car is priced higher because their esteem value is higher, because it provides status, comfort and image. A brand image is there for that product. Even though basic use value might be same for the product, but esteem value is the one which is making different a luxury car from a normal small car. One more example is given. You can see that a gold plated pen and a disposable pen, both are able to write. That means both perform their use function as it is same, but the gold one cost more because of esteem value. Done. Next comes focus of value analysis. Value analysis main focus is what exact function does the customer cares about. Keep all those functions which customer cares about most. But the thing is, if you are able to improve those functions, it's much better. Like in calculator, you are providing that intended function. Both the local calculator and the branded calculator are providing the same function. But the thing is, as Casio is performing that particular function better, then the chances of buying that particular product is higher. So what exact function the customer cares about? For calculator, we care about that it should calculate, right? So keep that function same, or you can improve it. If you are improving it, you will be able to attract more customers. And remove any cost that doesn't help deliver it. So if there is any extra cost which is not providing something which customer cares about, just remove that. Just remove that function or just remove that cost. Manage functionality to create value. So customers buy a product for what it does. So make sure that value remains same. The function which you are providing to the customer remains same. If keeping that function as it is, you are able to reduce cost, good enough. Do that. Let's understand this with the help of example. So here we have an electric kettle in this example, where it says that electric kettle is made up of metal. Now we are thinking of removing or replacing that metal with plastic. But think about it. Can you make the whole kettle of plastic? Answer is no. It is not beneficial for the customer to boil water in plastic kettles, right? So the main part where the boiling will happen of the water should be of metal. But the thing is, every other part, like the cap, like the extra support which you have provided, like the handle which we have provided, all of these can be made up of plastic. Keep the important thing for which metal is required, keep metal there. But every other thing which is not required to be of metal, you can make it of plastic, and that is how you can reduce the cost. It's very important for organizations to do value analysis and find areas where they can reduce the cost. Why? Because if you will not do that, your competitors will do that and they will take the advantage of it. So if you don't rethink or redesign your materials or product to keep the function as it is but at lower cost, a cheaper, equally functional rival will beat you. Hai? So make sure you are improving every time. You are trying to reduce cost as much as possible every time whenever you are able to do that. Done. Next, remove costs that won't add value. Wherever you think that this cost is of no value. Here what we did in the first point, we replaced the material with some other material at lower cost. That means we kept that function because that function was important. But we just remove the cost of it by using some other material. We reduce the cost of it by using some other material. But here we are aiming to remove the cost. That means we'll remove those things which are of no value. So remove costs that don't add value. Value analysis targets unnecessary costs, things that customer won't miss if removed. If I'm removing that, customer will not at all miss that. And that is what you can remove it. When cutting a cost, function must be intact. Think about it, yaar. We are not removing any function. We are removing any part of our product which is of no use. Let's assume that this calculator, let's say this button is of no use. Customer is not at all using it. Every customer to whom we are selling this calculator, no one is using this button. Let's take an example like that. So even if I remove that, no customer is going to miss that. And if they are not missing it and the calculator is able to perform every function properly, then why should we not remove that part? We should definitely try to remove that part. And that is what this point is saying, that remove those parts which are of no value. Here we improved or changed the part which are valuable with lower cost parts. Here we are removing the parts which are of no value. Okay? So when cutting a cost, function must stay intact. No loss to function, no loss to quality, no loss to reliability, maintainability, no loss to benefits of customer. So here we want that no loss should be there to the customer. Every function should be performed properly. And then if you found something or some part which is of no value, you can remove that. It's a formal, systematic hunt for recoverable cost you can remove without hurting value. That is what value analysis is all about. That you want to remove the cost or reduce the cost without hurting any value which you are providing to your customer. Next, simple rules for applying value analysis. Whenever you are applying value analysis, just make sure that you are not hurting quality and reliability. Quality and reliability should be maintained. Marketability and saleability should also not be hurt. Because think about it, if you will just remove the looks for which the customer was buying your product, or the brand Q, like for Rolex watch, I'll buy only when it is written as a Rolex, so that I can show that status, right? If customers are buying that product for that particular purpose only, you will remove that, then no one is going to buy that. Huh? So looks, feel, brand Q, convenience and other appeal factor which influence buying, you should not at all hurt it. Next is, don't reduce the maintainability. That means hard to service product raise the customer's cost of ownership. So make sure that you are making a product which is easier to service. That means whenever that product is not working, if I take it to a technician, it can be corrected in around an hour or something. Very easy to correct, not complicated, and it also is very important for the customer that it doesn't increase their cost to just maintain that product. Done. Next, these were focus of value analysis, that it focuses on replacing that part which are adding value but are of higher cost, removing those parts which are of no value. But while doing this, we need to make sure that we are not hurting quality or reliability, not hurting marketability or saleability, and not hurting maintainability. Done. Next is phases of value analysis. So value analysis have 7 phases or the 7 steps through which we apply value analysis. The first step is origination, where you find out the product or project in which you are going to do value analysis. After finding out the project, you will make the project team who is going to do value analysis. So project team will involve people who are experts and people who belong to different departments. So every department's representative will be there in the project team so that we can know that in that particular department what all cost can be reduced without affecting the function. Think about it. If you will involve only one department's person, then they will know only their department's cost reduction policy or how they can reduce the cost. But for other departments, they will have no idea, right? That is why it's very important to involve every department's person in the project team so that we can know in that particular department how much cost can be reduced without affecting the function. Done. This is our origination phase. Next comes information phase. This phase is about collecting relevant information where you will find out all the facts of your product, like the specification or the features our product is providing, drawings of our product, method of making that particular product, what all materials we are using in our product. And then we'll also find the cost incurred in each element. In every element which we have collected, what all cost has been incurred, we'll calculate that also in this particular phase. So this phase is about collecting relevant information of the product. Next comes functional analysis. In functional analysis, we'll prepare a list of functions wherein the functions are arranged in decreasing order of their value. So on the basis of value, we'll list all the functions which are performed by that particular product. So the most valuable function will be the first one, then the lower valued one, then the lower valued one, and at the end, the least valued function will be there. After familiarizing with the relevant facts and figure, a functional analysis is carried out to determine the function and use of the product and its components. The cost and importance of each function are identified. Here we understood that what is the cost of each element which we are using in our product, whether it be labor or material or overheads. Every element which we are using in our product, we'll find out the cost of it in information phase. But in functional phase, we are finding all the functions and the cost incurred in every function, cost incurred to perform every function. Now, how to calculate cost of function? For that, we will use the elements cost. How it will be used, let's just understand. So, we have listed all the functions of our watch and listed all the elements which are required to perform that function. So, to show time, we need dial and battery, and dial and battery together cost 300 rupees. So 300 rupees as it is the cost of dial and battery, and that is required for showing the time. So it will be the cost of showing the time. Protect mechanism, we use case in our watch, and that case costs 250. So it will be the cost of this function. Securing on wrist is done by a strap, and strap costs 300 rupees. So that will be the cost of this function. Now, while calculating cost of function, we'll not only consider the material, we'll also consider the labor cost incurred to make that function possible. Like to add dial and battery, how much labor cost has been incurred? To add protect mechanism, how much labor cost has been incurred? To add secure on wrist, that is strap, how much labor cost has been incurred? That will also be considered to calculate the function cost. Done. After calculating the cost of function, you will calculate value index. Now, value index can be calculated through two ways. We just want to know the cost benefit ratio. So, we can do it in two ways. First is worth divided by cost. Now, what is this? Cost is the actual cost you are incurring right now. Actual cost incurred. And worth is what the cost should be. So, for showing time, we have incurred 300 rupees, but it should have happened in 200 rupees only. So, worth is 200 and the cost we actually incurred is 300. This is the way we calculate cost benefit analysis, or we calculate our value index. Or else, I can use function by cost. But the thing is, function by cost needs comparison. I need to compare current situation from what happened in future, है ना? So let's assume that currently my cost is 100 and my function score is 80. So if I reduce cost and function remains same, then only I'll be able to know that this function divided by cost has improved, है ना? Or value has been improved. But with the help of worth or worth divided by cost, I can do directly cost benefit analysis. I need not depend on current situation and compare it with what happens in future. Done. That is why worth divided by cost is mainly used for calculating value index. Done. After calculating value index, so what we have done till now? First, we found out the project for which we are going to do value analysis and made a project team. Then we collected all the information like the specifications, methods, materials which we have used and calculated the cost of each element which we have incurred in our product. Then we found out all the functions, did a functional analysis. For the same, we listed all the functions on the basis of their value in decreasing order. And then we found out a value index to know cost benefit analysis of the function. Now in innovation stage, we will find different alternatives to perform that particular function in the similar function but in lower cost. So this is the creative phase where you are concerned with generating new alternatives to replace or remove the existing ones. The objective is to produce ideas and to formulate alternative means and method for accomplishing the same essential function and improving the value of the element under consideration. So what we want the same essential function as we are providing right now, but we want to improve value by lowering cost or by improving the function, right? Creative problem solving techniques are utilized to discover alternatives that will provide essential or required function at the lowest possible cost. So after finding all the alternatives, these alternatives will be evaluated. है? So we will evaluate each and every alternative, analyze all of them to find out that which one is beneficial for the organization. Now how to evaluate each alternative? On the basis of economic and technical feasibility. Economic feasibility, that means will it cost us less as compared to what it is costing us right now? And technical feasibility means will it be able to perform the intended function as it is, or it will decrease that function? है? So economic and technical, on the basis of economic and technical feasibility, all the alternatives will be evaluated. After evaluating alternative, we will select the best alternative. When you have selected the best alternative, you'll implement the same, and progress of implementation is continuously monitored and followed up so that we can see whether we are able to achieve that desired result or not. Done. So these were the phases of value analysis. What all phases were there? First, origination, find out the product and select a project team. Then origination, then information collection, right? Yes, information. So collecting relevant information. Then we'll do functional analysis. Then we'll find out new alternative, that is innovation. Then evaluation of alternative. Then choosing the best alternative. Then implementing the same. Done. Now comes types of value analysis exercises. But before going into value analysis exercises, let's just write it down, everything which we have understood, but in a summarized manner. So write the heading of the topic, that is value analysis and value engineering. So first, what we understood the difference between value, innovation, analysis and engineering. Value, innovation, value analysis and value engineering. Will not write much about it, and that is why I am drawing the line short only. Meaning, creating new value for customers by changing the rule of competition. So, we'll say tata bye bye to our competitors and make something completely new, completely different from what our competitors are doing. In value analysis, we do systematic study of an existing product to reduce cost without reducing function. Function should be exactly same, but cost should be reduced. Value engineering is a systematic study during design stage to achieve required function at minimum cost. So, in value innovation, our aim was adding new value. Value analysis focuses on existing product, and value engineering focuses on design stage of the product. And value analysis and engineering focuses only on reducing the cost, while value innovation focuses on increasing differentiation and reducing cost both together. Main focus: increase customer value plus reduce cost simultaneously with completely new product. Cost reduction of existing product. And last is cost prevention at the design stage. Next is value analysis. We'll write the definition of value analysis. So we have seen two definitions, right? We'll write both of them. The first one is value analysis is a technique of cost control and cost reduction. Is a technique of cost control and cost reduction. Uses scientific approach to ensure that all functions of a product or service are carried out at minimum cost. Without compromising on quality. Let me just move this side, right? Quality, reliability, performance, and appearance. So what is the definition? You should remember it. Hana? Don't try to learn it. Just try to understand it. And by understanding, try to remember it. Hana? So it is a technique of cost control and cost reduction. Uses scientific approach to ensure that all functions of product are provided at minimal cost without compromising on quality, appearance, performance and reliability. Done. Next. Next is the definition given by Society of American Value Engineers. Society of American Value Engineers. Save. Now, value analysis is a systematic application of what? Of recognized techniques. Systematic application of recognized techniques for what? To identify the function of product or service, which identifies the function of product or service. After identifying the function of product or service, what we will do? To establish. Why we are identifying the function? So that we can establish a monetary value for the function. And to provide the necessary function reliability with lowest overall cost. So this is our definition given by SAFE. Done. Next. Next, we will write about value. Specifically, our main focus is what is value in value analysis, and that is what we'll focus here. So, in value analysis, value has restricted meaning. What is value? Value is economic value. Just mention here that it is in micro sense. What is economic value? Worth of a product or service expressed in money based on function it performs. Can be written as function achieved per unit of cost, right? And can be denoted through function divided by cost. Now, what is function here? What the product or service is supposed to do. Its intended purpose. right? What is cost? Cost is total life cycle cost incurred to perform the required function. Now, when we say total life cycle cost, what does it mean? Let's write about total life cycle cost of product, huh? Total life cycle cost of product. It's the sum total of all cost incurred over its useful life. From design or acquisition to operation, maintenance and disposal. So from the time customer buys a product till the time product is disposed of, the whole chain is known as life cycle, and the cost incurred in this life cycle is known as life cycle cost of a product. Next, total life cycle cost of product will be used as base to calculate life cycle cost of function. If you notice, we need to calculate in cost, we need to calculate life cycle cost of each function, right? But we calculated life cycle cost of product. This will be considered as base to calculate life cycle cost of function. Now, function as its qualitative will be denoted through function score. So how function will be denoted in this formula? Using function score, calculated on the basis of weighted performance. On the basis of weighted performance, I have already told you the specific steps, but the thing is, those steps are not required in the exams. They are good for understanding, but not required for exams, and that is why we are not writing it here, right? So we'll only write that function score calculated on the basis of weighted performance. We need not write the steps to calculate function score. Done? Next, after this, we denoted function divided by cost as capability plus performance divided by cost, right? Capability is the extent or capacity up to which the product can perform its function. And performance is how efficiently, accurately, and effectively the function is carried out. You can write examples also. AC cools faster and this is higher performance. And so higher performance example should come here, right? Next, for capability, AC cools a large room size, and that is capability of AC. Next, how to increase value? How to increase value? So if we want to increase value, we can either increase the function or reduce the cost. If you notice, it is written as function divided by cost. So if you want to improve this whole formula, what you will do? Either you will reduce the denominator or will improve the numerator, and the same thing we are doing here. So we are improving function. If we want to improve value, increase value, so we need to improve the function, we need to reduce the cost, or we can do both together, right? But remember one thing, that while improving function, your cost remains the same. While reducing cost, your function remains the same. Done. And here too we are doing both of them together. That means improve function and reduce cost. Done. Done. Now let's write about how economic value comes. Like we have seen 4 values, right? Let's write about them. So value analysis. Here value is economic value. Now this economic value may arise from, now here we are seeing it in macro sense. The value may arise from use value, cost value, esteem value, and exchange value. Now, what is use value? Use value is the intrinsic value. Now, what does intrinsic means? Intrinsic means what that particular product is and what it actually does. That is the intrinsic or inherent value of the product. Okay, so intrinsic, true or inherent value of the product. Now, inherent value of the product can be seen from both ways, from the buyer's perspective or from the manufacturer's perspective. We have seen that in example, right? So, price paid by the buyer or cost incurred by the manufacturer on product or service to perform its intended function. basic or intended function. So to perform the intended function or the basic function of the product, whatever price the buyer is paying or whatever cost the manufacturer has incurred is known as use value. Next, cost value. Cost value is all cost incurred in producing the product or service. It can be all the costs, right? Like material, labor, expenses, or overheads. So all the costs of producing the product will be considered here. Overheads are indirect costs. So indirect costs are the cost which can't be directly charged to units, and that is why those indirect costs are written separately than material, labor, and expenses. Now, next is exchange value. Value you get by trading it for another product. So if you are trading your product with another product or service, what value you get? Or else it's a better way to trade your product with money to know the exact economic value in money worth, right? Next is esteem value, which is perception value. Now, what is perception value? Perception is what customer perceive of that product. On the basis of that, the value is determined here. So if they perceive it as a status recognition, then they are ready to pay higher price for esteem value, right? So perception value, which increases sales appeal or attracts the customer. And create in them a strong desire to own the product. And that is what happens in esteem value, right? There is a perception value through which sales appeal increases or customers are attracted to buy that product. There is a strong desire of customer to own that particular product. This will be calculated in money form as price paid by the buyer or cost incurred by the manufacturer beyond use value. So over and above use value, whatever price customer has paid is coming from esteem value, and over and above use value, whatever cost manufacturer has incurred is for esteem value beyond the use value. Done. In short, if I have to write one word for everyone, what it should be? For intrinsic or use value, we can say it focuses mainly on the function or usefulness. Function or usefulness. Cost value focuses on cost of producing the product, that is cost of production. Exchange value focuses on how much price at which I can sell this particular product, that is the selling price. And esteem value is about prestige and status. Now, who is the fundamental form of economic value? Which one is known as the fundamental form of economic value? Use value. So use value is fundamental form of economic value. So if there is no use value, then there will be no SCM and exchange value. Right? Next, if we want to increase value, we can do it by increasing use value or increasing SCM value. Think about it, yaar. Your use value is from product's perspective. It's the bare minimum which you should give to your customers, right? And esteem value is the princess treatment which you give to your customers. Anna. Now, next is focus of value analysis. So, value analysis focuses on replacing those parts which cost higher but are important for performing the function. Remove those parts which are of no use, and it uses some rules to decide or to apply value analysis. Replace those parts which are of no use, which are of use but are costly. Right? So we'll replace them and not remove them. Remove those parts or cost that don't add value and don't impact function. Next comes rules. Rules are don't cut cost, that hurt quality. Or marketability and salability or maintainability of the product. So, will not cut any cost which impacts quality, marketability, salability and maintainability of the product. Done. Next is phases of value analysis. So we have 7 phases of value analysis. Let's write it down. The first one is origination. Origination is identification of project or product to undertake value analysis. So in origination stage, we'll identify the project or product in which we are going to do value analysis, and then we'll select a team. This team will include experts and the persons from various departments. Next is information phase, where we collect relevant information like specification, drawings, methods, material, etc. You can write labor cost also, because we'll consider all of the information or all of the cost which we have incurred in making that product. And the elements cost. Next, after information comes functional analysis. Here we will list all the functions in decreasing order of value, and we will calculate value index, that is worth divided by cost. Done. Next is innovation stage. Here generation of new alternatives will happen. So generation of new alternatives to replace or remove existing ones. Next is evaluation stage. In evaluation stage, we will evaluate all the alternatives. So evaluate each alternative on the basis of economic and technical feasibility. Right? So on the basis of whether it is costing less or not, and whether it is able to perform that function as it is or not, we'll evaluate all the alternatives. Next, after evaluation, we'll choose the best alternative. Choosing the best alternative. And at last, we'll implement. Implementation. It is about putting it into actual use. The alternative which we selected will put it into actual use and continuously monitoring and follow up will happen in this step or in this phase. Done. This we have already covered a lot of things about our today's topic. Now let's move forward to types of value analysis exercises. So the first one, types of value analysis exercises means value analysis can be taken in different ways. The first one is value analysis for existing product, where you are taking the existing product and doing value analysis, and that is the normal value analysis we have studied from a very long time, right? So here we'll select the product which is already existing and which is already selling. These products have been designed, manufactured and used for a longer period of time. So company has a lot of data about them. Customer feedback, performance histories, known problems, all of these are available, and that is why value analysis is applicable, because value analysis applies where data is available of the product, and that is why we choose existing products for value analysis. This makes analysis easier compared to new products, because think about it, for new product you will not have any of these data, and that is why it becomes a little tough to do analysis for new products as compared to that of existing products. When working on an existing products, all managers from different departments come together. We have already studied in value analysis phases that we need to make a project team, right? And project team will include members from various departments. Why? Because different departments may have different issues, and the persons belonging to that department only know the issues. So we need to involve them in our project team, and that is what is mentioned here. When working on an existing product, all managers from different departments comes together. All of them know their department's issue, but no one knows the complete picture, whether that particular issue can be solved or not. Is it creating some impact on the other departments or not, right? In value analysis discussion, they share their complaints, failures, and issues. They help everyone understand how the product actually attracts cost, and what are the limits due to which will not be able to improve the cost or improve our function or reduce the cost. Hai. So in this particular existing products analysis, all the departments manager will come together, sit together, discuss on what all issues they are facing in their department. But the thing is, it's not like we'll be able to improve all the defects or all the issues which we are facing. Why? Because there are some limitations in improving our product. What are the limitations? Limitations in redesign and re-engineering. First limitations is tools and fixtures are already existing. Now what does it mean? Let's say we have made a mold for making this product. So we have made around 1000 molds, so that 1000 plastic bags can be created together in a minute. So if I want to change design of this product, think about it. I have to change the mold, and I have already incurred lakhs of rupees on making 1000 molds like this. So I have already incurred a lot of cost. Now I'm not able to redesign the product, because if I redesign the product, now we'll need again the molds, and we are not able to incur that cost because it will be a huge amount. That is the issue with tools and fixtures. So the company already had made tools, molds, jigs, and fixtures. If I change the design of that, I need to change the tools or fixtures, and which can be expensive for the company. Limited project time. So value analysis team usually has a fixed project duration for which they can undertake value analysis, right? In this restricted period of time, it might not be possible to make all the changes which are required to improve the product. So let's assume that 6 months time period is given for value analysis team to do value analysis and reduce cost. They'll not be able to reduce each and every cost in this period of time, right? Next, supplier involvement issues. For some of the cost to be reduced or to improve the function, there is a requirement for involving supplier. Like we have decided to shift from metal to plastic, right? But the thing is, it can happen that my supplier don't have the specific type of plastic which we want. It can happen that supplier is sitting somewhere in distance and we are not able to contact or have a specific meeting with them. There might be project deadlines due to which we are not able to change our material right now. So there might be many issues inside or before improving our product. Hence, we need to consider those as well, and then only decide or improve our product accordingly. Done? Now, this was value analysis for existing products. Now comes value analysis for new products. Here we are taking completely new product and doing value analysis. And this is what value engineering is. When you analyze a completely new product which is at its design stage, this is value engineering. For new products, companies don't use value analysis or the normal value analysis method. Why? Because in value analysis, we already understood that we need a lot of data, feedback, problems. We should already know that. But for new products, we have very less data. There are more uncertainty, fewer past problems or customer feedbacks. Hence, normal value analysis is not applicable, and that is why value engineering is needed. So the team has to use value engineering instead of value analysis. What is value engineering? Value engineering is similar to that of value analysis, but it needs more skilled people, more expertise, more time and resources. Why? Because team has to make decision without much information. There are very less information available. But in value analysis, you have a lot of information. That is why less skilled people can also undertake that. But for value engineering, you need skilled expertise people and need a lot of more time and resources to do value engineering as compared to that of value analysis. Done. Next, value analysis for product families. Product families is what? So let's assume I have done value analysis for one specific product, and I found out that how to remove or reduce cost in that. Now, similar type of products, I make 10 similar type of products, which are somewhat similar to this product and use same type of material. So for this product, I did value analysis and reduced cost through changing material. Then the same material can be used in different products also. So what you did, you applied value analysis in one product and the benefit of it is transferred to other products as well. And that is known as horizontal deployment. Sometimes value analysis is done for only one product and the findings can help many similar products in the company. And that is what is horizontal deployment. How it works, if several products share similar parts, material or designs, then improvement found in one VA study can be applied to all of them. Benefits. All products get improved at the same time and we can save a large amount of cost. Changes can be introduced quickly and suppliers' improvement can benefit every product that uses that part. We have taken the same example, like if improvement in material is done, then the same improved material can be used in all the similar type of products, and that will help the organization saving a lot of cost. Earlier you were able to save only cost in that particular product. Now you are able to save cost in all the horizontal products you have in that particular family of product, and that is why it is known as horizontal deployment or value analysis for product families. Next is competitive value analysis or reverse or stripped down value analysis. Here we take the product of competitors, study it, how they are making their product, where they are able to reduce the cost or improve the function, and we try to improve our product accordingly. So value analysis is not only for your own products. Companies also use value analysis to study competitors' product. Purpose is to understand how competitors' product is designed, how much it probably costs to make, where the competitor is strong or weak, what innovations they have introduced, so that we can use the same in our designing and pricing of the product. Done. So there are 4 types of value analysis exercises. First one is value analysis for existing product. This is the normal value analysis. Next is value analysis for new product, which is known as value engineering. Next comes value analysis for product families, which is horizontal deployment, and competitive value analysis, which is also known as reverse or stripped down analysis. Done. Next, recommended approach for beginners. So if you are the one who is new to value analysis or value engineering, then you should start from existing product itself. We have already understood that it is complicated to analyze a new product. It is complicated to do value engineering. It is better for the organizations to start, if they are beginner, then it is better for the organization to start from any existing product which already have a lot of data, and that is what is written here. Next, core advantage of value analysis is, so practically value analysis is specifically used for cost reduction, and that is why the core advantage is cost reduction. Value analysis breaks the product into parts and studies each part individually. How this helps? This helps to find out parts which are not worth their cost, parts which can be eliminated, parts which can be replaced with cheaper alternatives, and how to give the required function at the lowest overall cost. We can find all of these out. What is the result or what is the final advantage which we get? Lower production cost, more efficient design, and higher value for our customer. This is the core advantage of value analysis. Now comes value engineering. So value engineering doesn't have anything new or different. Value analysis and value engineering are similar because they use the same tools and techniques. We are going to use same tools and techniques for whether we are doing value analysis or value engineering. The only difference is value analysis applies for existing product and this applies for new products. Value analysis is a remedial measure. You are fixing the problem which already exists. But value engineering is a preventive measure where you are avoiding the problem before they happen. Next, why value engineering is preventive? Why we specifically call value engineering as a preventive measure? Because the product is still being designed and the team can remove unnecessary feature, avoid adding costly part, and design efficiently from the beginning itself, through which we can prevent the higher cost from occurring itself. So prevention is better than cure is the idea behind using value engineering. Now, next is purpose of value engineering. Why we use value engineering? To make the best, simplest and lowest cost way to achieve the required function. To find out best, simplest and lowest cost way so that we can perform that function but at a lowest, cheaper and the bestest manner. It checks if there is any cheaper method, better material, simpler design, easier process, more efficient feature. So we can do the job effectively, but we can reduce the cost as well, right? And the same thing we do in value analysis also, where value engineering is applicable. Whether it be value engineering or value analysis, both of them are applicable in every sector where you are providing products or services. If you want to improve your product, if you want to reduce the cost, you can use value engineering. So mainly originally it was used in manufacturing sector. Now it is used in almost every sector. Done. Now next and the last thing which comes is the case study of a company which makes medical microscopes. So they have chosen a specific part of a product. The product is model SL250 and they are focusing on focus adjustment knob. So in microscope, to adjust the focus, that how much I want to focus in microscope, right? There is a knob and they are focusing specifically on this part to do value engineering. And we have already understood the phases of value analysis. The same phases is applicable for value engineering also. First, we will select the part or the product which we want to study. Then we will collect all the information or facts. Then we'll analyze the functions. Then we will find innovative ideas or alternatives to perform that function at a lower cost. Then we will evaluate all the functions. Then the best option will be chosen and it will be implemented. The same method has been followed here also, even if they are doing value engineering. So phases of value analysis is completely applicable for value engineering also. Now, after doing this, they found out an idea that knob material can be changed to nylon. By doing this, there will be no loss on function and it will be easier to make. At the end, what happened is, cost before the knob was costing 29.99 rupees per knob. Now after using nylon material, we are able to produce the same knob in 18.50 rupees per knob. So saving per knob is 11.59 rupees. So if I calculate saving percentage, how to calculate saving percentage? You will take the saving divided by the cost before, that is 29.99 into 100. It will come approximately 38.64. Next, annual demand for knobs is 8,000. So per knob you are saving 11.59. You need 8,000 knobs. That means in total you are saving approximately 92,720 rupees. Okay? Now if you want to calculate value improvement, that how much value you have improved, then you need to compare saving, that is 11.59 rupees, with your new cost, that is 18.4 rupees into 100. Let me calculate it. 11.59 divided by 18.4 into 100, that is equal to approximately 62.98%. That you can calculate this value improvement in per unit basis or in total basis. In per unit basis, we have calculated already. In total basis, we'll take the total annual saving divided by current price, that is 18.4 into 8,000. That is equal to 1,47,200 into 100. So for calculating savings, we have used saving divided by cost before. For calculating value improvement, you will do saving divided by new cost. Done. With this, we have completed our value engineering part as well. Now let's just write the types of value analysis exercises and value engineering. Write it down. Types of VA exercises. VA is value analysis. So we have 4 types of value analysis exercises. First is value analysis for existing products. So for existing product, we have a lot of data. Customer feedback, performance history, hence easier to analyze compared to new products, right? And it involves managers from all department. Now, there are limitations for redesigning. What are the limitations? The first one is tooling and fixtures already exist. So we already have tooling and fixtures and it's expensive to get it again. Hence we are not changing it. Or we are not applying the value analysis or improving the function which we found out through value analysis. Limited project time. If value analysis team has got specific limited period of time, then you'll not be able to increase or solve all the issues, right? And supplier involvement issue. Sometimes to improve the material, you need to involve suppliers. And it can happen the supplier is sitting on distance or is not having the capacity of making the material which we want. And there might be some issues with the material. Done. Next is value analysis for new product. VA for new product. This is value engineering only. So for value engineering, we will not use normal VA. Normal value analysis will be not used because less data, uncertainty, fewer past problems and customer feedbacks. So there are less data, more uncertainty, fewer past problems and fewer customer feedbacks are there, and hence normal VA is not applicable here. So what we will use? Hence value engineering is used. Value engineering is similar to VA but needs more skilled labor, expertise and time and resources. Next, value analysis for product families. This is horizontal deployment. This is also known as horizontal deployment. Now what happens here? Value analysis for one product help many similar products. So value analysis is done on one product, but its benefits are taken for many similar products. Next is competitive VA, or it is known as reverse or strip down value analysis. Here we study competitor's product to improve own design and pricing, right? So we'll study our competitor's product to improve our own product's design and pricing. Next is core advantage of value analysis. So the first core advantage is cost reduction, है ना? Cost reduction. The second advantage is efficient design. We can improve the design of the product also. And at the end, higher value for customer. Right? So, for efficient design, you can remove parts not worth their cost and replace parts with lower cost. So this was all about value analysis. Now let's write about value engineering. So value analysis and value engineering uses same tools and techniques. Both of them use same types of tools and techniques, but value analysis is remedial measure. That means after problem has happened, now we are trying to reduce it, or now we are trying to improve our functions or the product or the cost. And value engineering is preventive measure because it tries to improve the product beforehand or reduce the cost beforehand. Why we call it as preventive measure? In design stage itself, we remove unnecessary cost or unnecessary features, avoid adding costly parts, and design efficiently from the beginning. And that is why it is known as preventive measure. Right. Next comes purpose of value engineering. So what is the purpose? Finding the best, simplest, lowest cost way to achieve required function. Done. Next, value analysis and value engineering are used in almost every sector. Done. So with this, we have completed our value analysis and value engineering, the most important part. And if you notice, we have gone to it in a very detailed manner, included it in a very detailed manner in our summary book. And the reason is it's very important from your exam point of view. Now, in our next class, see, I understand that it takes a lot of effort to write. Let's just do it together, na? Because think about it, it is just a one-time effort. After doing this one-time efforts, it will be a lot easier for you to revise everything from chapter number 1. So let's make sure that we are putting that effort which is required for one time. In theory subjects, you need to write a lot. You need to write a lot of theory. But it's okay. If you have written it once, you'll be able to revise the whole chapter in 10 minutes just by opening your summary book. You need not refer anything else. है ना? So now we'll meet in our next class with our last topic of chapter number 1, that is business process re-engineering, cost control and cost reduction. Till then, happy learning everyone. Radhe Radhe. Bye bye. Bye bye everyone.